You're tuned in for another Dope Dive, and today we're going straight into something pretty big. Agentic AI. Many are calling it a huge shift.
Definitely.
We're moving past the text generators like ChatGPT.
Right.
We're using AI agents Pascal, Bornet, 2025 as our guide here.
Yeah, and what the sources you shared really highlight is this turning point. It's significant.
Okay.
The generative AI, we all know, it's great at thinking, analyzing, generating stuff.
So it's producing information.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But agentic AI, that's about giving AI the power to act on that understanding autonomously.
Right. Act. That's the key difference.
It really changes the game and how AI works and, what it can actually do.
Totally. Think about the AI we use now. It can analyze, draft things, even make music. Amazing skills.
Incredible, yeah.
But when it comes to actually doing something, like in the digital world, a human still has to push the buttons, right?
That's the bottleneck.
So our mission today is to pull out the core ideas of agentic AI from this book. See how it might change business, work, even just daily life. And keep it understandable. Exactly, without getting bogged down in the super technical jargon.
And it's not just about adopting it, is it? The book really pushes this idea that we need to actively shape it, guide it with purpose and, well, integrity.
That's a really important angle, responsibility. And the book hints at some, pretty exciting stuff coming, like how to spot the right chances to use this.
Finding those sweet spots.
Yeah, and how to scale it up in companies. New business models popping up.
And the bigger picture, society.
Right, the societal impact, too. It covers a lot.
And the people behind the book, it's quite a mix.
Oh, yeah.
You've got AI researchers, top execs using this stuff, developers building it, consultants helping firms figure it out.
So a real 360-degree view. Lots of different perspectives.
Exactly, which gives it real depth.
And just to show how big a deal this is, they kick off with quotes from, the heavy hitters.
Oh, yeah, the big names.
Bill Gates says, agents are the biggest thing since we stopped typing commands and started tapping icons.
Wow. Since the GUI.
Satya Nadella thinks they'll be the main way we use computers.
The primary interface.
And Jensen Huang just says, the age of agentic AI is here.
Pretty blunt.
So yeah, not just a small update. This is fundamental. Okay, let's really get into it then.
Okay, so one of the first things the book emphasizes, and it's crucial to get this, is the gap, the limitation of current generative AI.
Compared to agentic AI, you mean?
Right. Like you said, generative AI is amazing at processing, understanding, generating info.
Like that brilliant consultant you mentioned earlier, full of ideas.
Exactly. But, and this is the key, they can't act independently on those ideas. The book calls them brilliant advisors who can't lift a finger.
I like that. They tell you what to do, but can't do it themselves.
Precisely.
Which leads to this weird situation, doesn't it? This paradox. We're building these super smart AIs to make us more productive.
Yeah.
But sometimes it feels like they just create more tasks for us.
That's a really sharp observation the book makes.
Yeah.
This trend where as AI gets better at thinking, humans end up doing more of the grunt work.
Yeah.
The manual digital stuff.
Like what?
Like copying data between systems, checking the AI's work, then actually doing the thing the AI suggested. They call it work about work.
Work about work. That's perfect.
Yeah, that's ironic. The smartest AI makes more manual tasks for us, just wrangling data, clicking buttons. Agentic AI aims right at fixing that inefficiency.
It really feels backwards sometimes. Machines do the thinking, we do the digital fetching and carrying. There's that quote in the book from David DeKrumer, right? We're treating humans like robots and AI like creatives. It's time to flip the equation.
That nails it. And that flip is exactly what agentic AI is about.
Yeah.
The next step is giving these systems the ability to act on their own, moving beyond just thinking to actually doing.
So what makes this possible now? What's changed technologically?
Well, the book's clear. It wasn't one single eureka moment.
Right, usually isn't.
It's more a convergence, things coming together. But they pinpoint two main streams that were really pivotal.
Okay, what are they?
First, the huge leaps in large language models, LLMs. That's the engine behind the advanced chatbots we see everywhere.
Got it, the brain.
And second, the evolution of workflow automation. It's gone beyond basic scripts to what they call intelligent automation.
Intelligent automation. So more than just simple RPA.
Yeah, it layers in AI like machine learning, makes workflows smarter, more adaptable, less rigid.
Okay, so LLMs for understanding, intelligent automation for doing tasks. But what was missing before agentic AI? Why didn't they just connect?
Great question. The book uses this story from 2022, a big manufacturing company. They had a pretty sophisticated chatbot using an LLM, understood customer queries really well.
Okay.
And they also had RPA bots doing complex stuff in their back-end systems.
So they had the understanding part and the doing part separately.
Exactly. The smarts in the hands, if you like.
Mm-hmm.
But the book says the bridge between understanding and doing was missing.
Ah, the connection.
Yeah. The human customer service agents were still a bridge. They get the info from the chatbot.
And then manually tell the RPA bot what to do.
Precisely. The AI knew what should happen. The RPA could do it, but they couldn't talk directly.
I see. So the AI couldn't trigger the action itself.
Right. And seeing that gap, realizing what could happen if they did connect directly, if the AI could understand and then autonomously kick off the action, that was a big light bulb moment.
Ah, okay.
That realization, fueled by LLMs getting better and automation getting smarter, really paved the way for agentic AI.
That makes a lot of sense. The convergence was key. Okay, so we get the what and the why. How do these agents actually, work? What's the process?
The book gives us a really handy framework. It's called SPAR, S-P-A-R.
Okay.
It stands for sense, plan, act, and reflect. It's a pretty natural way to think about what AI agents do.
Sense, plan, act, reflect. Okay, let's unpack that. Starting with sensing, what's that about for an AI?
Okay, think about a self-driving car. How does it know what's around it?
Cameras, LiDAR, sensors, constantly scanning.
Exactly. It's sensing its environment. Traffic, signals, people, road lines. Sensing for an AI agent is the digital equivalent.
So it's seeing its digital surroundings, gathering info.
Precisely. Pulling data from different places, noticing triggers or events, keeping track of the context it needs to operate. The book mentions the short-term context window.
Like the car needing to remember what just happened nearby.
Yeah, exactly. Give the agent a goal, like putting a destination in GPS. Sensing is how it figures out the current situation relative to that goal.
Okay, sensing is gathering the intel. Then planning. What happens there?
Once it sensed the situation and knows the goal, it needs a strategy.
A roadmap.
Right. Planning is where the agent figures out the steps needed to get there, like the GPS calculating the best route. The agent looks at the sensed info and maps out the actions, the sequence.
So it's not just reacting instantly, it's thinking ahead, strategizing.
Exactly. Anticipating the necessary steps to reach the outcome.
Okay, sensed, planned. Now acting. Seems straightforward.
Pretty much. Acting is the execution phase. The agent carries out the steps from its plan. In the digital world, it's the doing.
Sending the email, updating the record, running the report, that stuff.
That's it. Interacting with systems to get the job done.
And the last one, reflect. What's the point of that for an AI?
Reflecting is about looking back. The agent logs what it did, whether it worked, any errors that happen.
Okay.
And this is really important because it's the basis for learning and getting better. Though how much learning happens depends on the agent's level.
So it's like a mini review. Okay, tried that. This bit worked. That bit failed. Note that for next time.
That's a great way to put it. It creates that feedback loop so it can improve over time.
Saber sense, plan, act, reflect. Okay, that's a clear model. Now, the book talks about different levels of these agents. That sounds important too.
It is. They call it the Agentic AI Progression Framework. Basically, it categorizes agents by their abilities, their autonomy.
Like levels of self-driving cars.
Exactly like that.
Yeah.
And the key thing, like with cars, isn't that higher is always better. It's not a strict maturity model you have to climb.
Right. Sometimes you just want simple cruise control, not full self-driving.
Precisely. The framework is more like a catalog of different types. You pick the level that fits the job.
Okay, so it's about matching the agent level to the task need. Let's walk through them. Where does it start? Level 0.
Yep, level 0, manual operations. This is the baseline. All human work, maybe using basic tools like email or spreadsheets, no real automation.
Just standard driving, no assists.
Exactly. Human sensing, planning, acting, no automated reflecting.
Got it. Traditional work. What's level 1?
Level 1, rule-based automation. This is your basic cruise control. Maintain speed, but you're watching it.
Okay.
In AI, this is simple automation following fixed rules. Think basic RPA bots, data entry scripts.
If X, then Y. Very predictable.
Right. Sensing is limited to specific triggers, structured data. Planning is just simple if-then logic. Acting is deterministic.
Right.
Reflecting is just basic logging, no real learning.
Okay, a step up, but still rigid. What about level 2?
Level 2, intelligent process automation. Now we're getting into advanced driver assistance lane keep, adaptive cruise. Still needs human supervision.
Okay, more capable.
In AI, this is where you see AI capabilities like NLP or machine learning added to automation.
Making the automation smarter.
Yeah. Sensing can handle semi-structured data. Planning uses basic AI for patterns, some decision-making within set limits. Acting is more robust, maybe some error handling. Reflecting involves basic analytics, but still not really adaptive learning.
Okay, level 2 starts adding some intelligence. Now we get closer to what we think of as agents, right? Level 3.
Level 3, agentic workflows. The car analogy is like highway pilot systems. Handles a lot, but you might need to jump in for tricky spots.
Okay, more autonomous.
Yeah, these agents are generating content, planning multiple steps, reasoning within certain areas, adapting a bit.
What tech is involved here?
This is where LLMs really come in. Memory systems to remember context, maybe some basic reinforcement learning.
And the SPAR capabilities.
Sensing is better, understanding natural language. Planning uses those foundation models for reasoning, setting up more complex workflows. Acting involves using multiple tools together, chaining them. Reflecting has some short-term feedback, maybe some longer-term memory.
Right, so level 3 is more capable, more adaptive within its domain. What's next? Level 4.
Level 4, autonomous agents. Think full self-driving in most conditions. Handles complex stuff with little human oversight.
The goal for many, I guess.
These agents have broader autonomy, using advanced reinforcement learning, better reasoning.
So EVAs are at this level.
Sensing is pretty comprehensive. Planning involves complex, multi-step reasoning. Acting is fully autonomous, picking and using tools intelligently. And reflecting includes real adaptive learning from experience.
Okay, that sounds powerful, very independent. Is there a level 5?
There is, but it's more theoretical. Level 5 self-aware superhuman agents.
Ah, the sci-fi level.
Pretty much. Hypothetical, full autonomy, exceeding human abilities everywhere, fully autonomous, SPAR, advanced adaptability, maybe emergent skills we can't even imagine yet.
Definitely out there for now. But understanding this range is super helpful. And the key, again,
is that the best level depends on the job. Don't use a level 4 agent for a level 1 task.
Right, tool for the job. Okay, now, beyond the levels, the book points out some specific things about agents that make them different from just, software.
Yeah, some key characteristics. One big one is thinking of them as digital workers, not just tools.
Digital workers versus tools. How so?
Traditional automation, like RPA, is usually fixed. Does one thing predictably, like an assembly line robot. Very efficient, but inflexible.
Okay.
An AI agent is more like a skilled employee. It can adapt, handle varied tasks, manage a whole process end-to-end, adjust based on the situation, more dynamic.
More adaptive, less static. What else?
A really practical point is how they work with existing systems. They don't usually require ripping everything out.
That's huge for companies.
Yeah, totally. Most places have big investments in ERPs, CRMs, whatever. Agents are designed to connect to those, pull data, push data, work across platforms, fill the gaps the old systems couldn't automate.
Like digital duct tape almost, but smarter?
Maybe. The book calls them digital workers who know how to navigate and utilize all your different systems, like a finance agent talking to SAP, Salesforce, and Excel all at once.
The integration capability is massive. Anything else?
Their 24/7 operation, obvious, maybe, but powerful.
Always on.
Right. Continuous vigilance, faster processing, critical for things like security, real-time analytics, customer service outside business hours.
Okay, so digital workers, integration, always on capability.
Got it.
Now, let's shift to the 3 keystones of agentic AI. This sounds like the core of what makes them actually work effectively.
Exactly. The book says these are action, reasoning, and memory. And it introduces them with this cautionary tale almost.
Oh, about an agent.
Yeah. Customer service AI agent scored perfectly on all the standard tests. Human eval, MMLU, agent bench, you name it.
So on paper, it was brilliant. Superhuman scores.
Looked amazing. Top marks in execution, understanding, autonomy.
Yeah.
But
there's always a but.
When they deployed it, customer satisfaction dropped.
Yeah.
By 18% in 3 months.
Ouch. 18%. What went wrong? It aced the tests.
In the real world, it was failing.
Yeah.
It would forget the conversation halfway through.
Seriously?
Yeah. It would do things that broke company policy or even regulations. Made weird decisions when things weren't exactly like the training data.
Wow.
The book compares it to a grad with perfect grades who just can't handle basic job tasks.
So the benchmarks, the tests, they're not the whole story. Like academic smarts don't always mean job smarts.
Precisely. Important, maybe, but not predictive of real-world performance. Which brings us back to the keystones. First one, action.
Okay, action. What does that mean here?
It's the agent's basic ability to do things using tools and systems. The book really hammers this home. Great thinking is useless if you can't act.
The brilliant advisor who can't lift a finger again.
Exactly. Or the strategist who can't move the troops. Lots of AIs fail, not because their logic is bad, but because they just can't use the tools needed. Can't send the email, can't process the refund. Simple stuff sometimes.
So, the ability to interact with the digital world effectively. The book mentioned the detective's dilemma. What's that?
Ah, right. That highlights a weird paradox. Sometimes giving an agent more tools makes it less effective.
More tools, worse results. How?
Imagine a detective at a crime scene, given tons of forensic gadgets. Too many choices can be overwhelming, lead to using the wrong tool or using them in the wrong order.
Okay, analysis paralysis almost.
Sort of. Agents need the right tools, well integrated. Too many options cause confusion, inefficiency. The book mentions a retail chain's inventory system.
Yeah.
Had access to all the right data, sales, stock, pricing controls.
Yeah.
But it initially failed because it couldn't use those tools together effectively. It wasn't coordinated.
So it's not just having tools, but skillfully using them. Yeah. Okay, second keystone, reasoning.
Reasoning is about thinking things through. Complex situations, consequences of actions, making logical plans.
Going beyond just reacting to data.
Exactly. The book gives this stark example. A logistics company.
Okay.
Their AI cleverly rerouted medicine shipments to avoid bad weather. Looks smart, efficient.
It's reasonable.
But the AI didn't reason about the regulations for shipping pharmaceuticals. The new routes it chose violated international rules. Big fines, regulatory problems.
Oh, wow. That's a massive oversight. Save time, cost a fortune.
Exactly. The CEO called it the most expensive 15 minutes of my career. It shows the difference between just reacting to weather data and genuinely reasoning like an experienced human would, considering all the rules and downstream effects.
Thinking deeply, carefully, not just pattern matching.
Right. Future agents need that robust reasoning. It's not just about speed.
Makes sense. Okay, final keystone, memory. Why is that so crucial?
Memory lets the agent retain, organize, and use past experiences to learn and adapt. The book argues it's the bedrock of intelligence, artificial or biological.
The foundation for learning.
Absolutely. They talk about a big telecom company. Invested heavily in AI chatbots for customer service. But satisfaction stayed low. Why? The chatbots kept forgetting previous interactions with the same customer. People had to explain their problem over and over and over.
Oh, that's infuriating. Like calling support and getting someone new every time who has no history.
Exactly. A senior exec there said it was like having reps with a 2-minute memory span.
Yeah.
Without memory, agents can't learn from interactions, can't personalize, can't build any kind of useful context. The book mentions the differences between human and AI memory are complex, but the core need, retaining relevant info, is fundamental for AI to be truly helpful.
Action, reasoning, memory. Okay, those three really define an effective agent. So if you're a company, how do you figure out where to use these things? What are the right opportunities?
The book uses this scenario. Jenny, founder of a digital marketing agency, she's drowning in routine tasks.
Relatable for many founders.
Yeah. And the point is, choosing the right tasks for agentic AI is often more critical than how fancy the AI is. Not everything is a good fit.
Okay, so when should we maybe not use AI agents? What are the red flags?
Well, generally things needing real human creativity or deep emotional intelligence.
Like brainstorming a new ad campaign concept.
Oh.
Or handling a really sensitive client issue.
Exactly. Also, big strategic decisions based on fuzzy, incomplete info where human judgment and market sense are key. Probably not for AI yet.
Okay.
Also, tasks that are incredibly complex and unpredictable or where the environment changes super fast. And critically, situations where the AI just doesn't have the authority or context to make the call alone. Human oversight is still needed there.
Makes sense. Be strategic. Don't just automate for automation's sake. The book has this idea of the 3 circles of agentic opportunity. Our source didn't detail them, but can we guess what they might be?
Yeah, based on what we've discussed, we can make a pretty good guess.
Yeah.
It's likely a Venn diagram approach. One circle is probably feasibility. Do we have the tech, the data, the tools to even build an agent for this task? Is it technically possible?
Makes sense. Can it be done?
Another circle is likely value. What's the payoff? Does automating this bring real benefit, efficiency, cost saving, better experience, new revenue? Is it worth doing?
Okay, feasibility of value. What's the third?
Probably suitability. Is this the right kind of task for an agent? Does it match the current capabilities around reasoning, memory, action? Does it need too much human nuance or oversight?
So feasibility, value, suitability. And The sweet spot is where all three overlap.
Exactly. That intersection is likely where you find the ideal opportunities for agentic AI right now. A task that's doable, valuable, and fits what agents can actually handle well.
That sounds like a solid way to think about it. Now, looking ahead, what's next? What's on the horizon for agentic AI capabilities?
The book gives a glimpse of something called large action models. LAMs.
LAMs. Okay, like LLMs, but for actions?
Kind of, yeah, just as LLMs transform text understanding and generation.
LAMs could transform action execution.
That's the idea. They're trained not just on text, but on massive data sets of actions. Videos of people doing tasks, robot movements, system logs showing software commands, demonstrations.
Learning how things get done?
Exactly. The goal is for LAMs to learn the underlying principles of achieving goals through action by watching and experiencing, and then generalize that to new situations. Not just connecting an LLM to tools, but having action capability more baked into the model itself.
So moving beyond predicting the next word to predicting and executing the next action or sequence of actions.
Precisely. The book mentions a 2025 paper suggesting future LAMs might learn a task just by watching a human do it once.
Whoa, one-shot learning for complex actions.
Yeah, and then replicating and maybe even optimizing it in different contexts with minimal guidance. It could be a huge leap in autonomy and adaptability.
Truly fascinating stuff on the horizon. Okay, we've covered a ton here. Agentic AI. What's the main thing listeners should walk away with?
I think the core message is that this is a really significant, fast-moving field. Agentic AI has the potential to genuinely reshape work, and maybe even parts of our personal lives.
Yeah, it's not just a minor tech update. It feels like a real paradigm shift, moving AI from just thinking to actually doing. And hopefully this deep dive has given you, our listener, a good grounding. What agents are, how they work with SPAR, the different levels, those crucial keystones, action, reasoning, memory.
It hopefully sparks some thinking about what this means for you, your work, your industry, your interests.
Definitely. How might this change things? What doors does it open?
Questions worth asking.
And if you want to go deeper, the book we based this on, AI Agents Pascal Bornet 2025, is out there.
And for ongoing learning, practical tools, courses, connecting with others working in this space, check out agenticintelligence.academy. Great resource.
Absolutely. So maybe a final thought to leave everyone with.
Go for it.
We've spent so much time focused on AI's ability to think. Now, with agentic AI emerging, how will understanding and leveraging the doing part alongside the thinking, how crucial will that be for navigating what's next in tech and work? What new possibilities does that unlock for you?
Powerful question. Lots to chew on there.
Definitely. Thanks, everyone, for joining us on this deep dive.